Page 42, Summer Whirlwind. Well, this looks kind of ugly. Let's look it over. Not introducing anything new. It's just another piece in F major. But the music is getting a bit challenging. We're starting to move around a little more. I'll look it over. It's about a page and a half long. Treble, bass, clef, one flat in the key signature. We're studying F major, so I can already tell you it's an F major. Make sure you're doing the scales for F major and D minor both. Just one octave up and down. Just do the scales. Learn the scales. You want to develop that physical feeling of what that scale feels like. A 4/4 time signature. We got eighth notes going nuts. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Let's start with the second line on the right hand and see what's going on here. You're starting here in thumb. This measure 5. It's a 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. It's not too bad, I hope. Then you got to come down here and then you're in this position. You're like doing an F major scale, except you're not starting on F. You're in the position for it, but you're starting on second finger. It's like you were going to keep going up here, except you're only going up to A, and then you come back down and do it again. Measure 13, you had the broken chord here. And then going up, or down actually, and just transferring weight from finger to finger. I'm just kind of walking here. The wrist will rotate, but just let it do whatever it does. Don't control the wrist, just let it do. And measure 17. Now if you don't want to be up in here with the thumb, you can do second, 2 and 4. That's another fingering for that chord. Here. And then coming down. And then measure 21 is like measure 5. Left hand, starting with measure 5, you get the 1 chord, and then the 5/7 chord, 1 chord. Measure 13 is a B flat. I think you can handle that. And then an A, and then a G, and it's fun. Okay, put the hands together. Now we'll do the first line because both hands are going nuts here. You can tell by the stems. The stem's going up, right hand will do it. The stem's going down, the left hand will do it. They put in LH to help you out, but generally you do it in with your hand. Here, the left hand does that one. So it's 1 and 2. And then during the rest, both hands come down, do it again. Now here the E is tied there. So again on the third measure, whoops, look out. The third measure, the last note, that E, that's tied. So you're going to hang on to it, just add the C to it. So again, the third measure. Here, and then you add this, which is part of the 5/7 chord. And then we lift up. Both hands are moving. Here. Well, that's a kicker. You gotta go in opposite direction. Both hands are moving. There's no rest. So, to help that out, I mean, you can do it just like it's written, it's fine. But we can also adjust something a little bit to help us do this. Make it a little easier or less difficult, whichever. Instead of this fingering for measure 4, I have rests in the right hand before this. I'm going to move up and play this chord with a 1, 2, 3. This way I'm closer to where I want to be here. Rather than here to go here, I'm here to here. It's not moving very far. And I can start playing measure 5. I just reach up and use second finger on the first one. And then thumb. See, I work my way into the position. But I'm not moving the right hand so much. This way I can focus on getting the left hand where it needs to go. It's not going far. You could play the left hand here, because you can cover all of these notes in one hand position. So you could do it where you're really not moving the hands at all. So instead of this to here, I'm going from here to here. I'm not moving hardly at all. So in really fast pieces, and this is sort of a fast piece, that helps in some cases. So You work it, or your teacher will help you work it out. But I'm going to finger this 1, 2, 3 chord, and then in measure 5, I'm going to finger the first one with 2. I'm just coming up, and then I'll come down with 1, and I'm back. And the left hand, I'm just gonna come down and finger that here, that F chord, and then I have a rest to go to the 5, 7. I come down. So I'm going to do that. So measure 4 is 2, and then going on, it's here. Rest, both hands. Rest, rest, and again. So measure 13, well, the left hand's not doing much. Just make sure in measure 14 that last note is by itself. The right hand has a rest. And then same thing. Rest. Last line. We're here at measure 29. Rest. During the rest, I'm getting the hands in position. Rest. And I tend to play that next to the last measure. I tend to do a 4. You can do a 5, 3, 1 if you want, but I tend to do a 2, 4 in here. Out of habit, I just do that. Rest, and the last note has an 8/8 under it. You go down. If you don't have the note, you're going to short keyboard, you play the lowest F you have. So I put the hands together, and then I go back through it slowly and carefully. I get rid of the hesitations, and then I think about the articulation. The slurring and staccatos and stuff. You're going to connect all this first line together. And then lift up. You have to lift up for the rest, otherwise you're connecting them all. Until we get to measure 10 is here. Hinging at the wrist, I'm bouncing off the keys. Rest. See, don't lift up the right hand when you lift up the left. And measure 9 or 8. Don't lift them at the same time. You don't lift the right hand until beat 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it's important. So do it that way. And you get the same thing then the next line down. Measure 12 is here. Up. And then you get the idea. So I put in the articulation, and then I go back and add the dynamics. MF at the beginning is mezzo forte, which is sort of loud. There's no melody, it's the whole thing. And then in measure 5, you're loud, but that's the melody, which is the right hand. The left hand stays in the background. In measure 9, you come down a bit to mezzo forte. The left hand is soft. Measure 13, loud again in the right hand. Come down a little. Come down more. And then measure 21, you're back up to loud. You can do the dynamics. At the last line, measure 29, you're loud. Soft. Then start soft. A little louder. Sort of moderately soft, moderately loud. The right hand. Here. The left hand stays in the background. Now at the end, the last measure, 1, 2, 3. There both hands do come up at the same time because it's not staccato in the left hand. You're holding those quarter notes a full count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So both hands do come up together there. As far as the speed goes, allegretto is between moderato and allegro. I call it the fun speed. When I see a piece in allegretto, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have some fun here. But it has to be accurate, so don't get carried away with the fun. How fast can you do the eighth notes accurate? Find the hardest part in it, wherever it is. Is it the beginning? Or is it this? Or is it this? Wherever the hardest part is, how fast can you do that accurately? It's going to be your allegretto. As you play piano more and more and more, and you go through these pieces more, and you come back and just play through them for fun. I do that a lot on the books I've played years ago. I go back occasionally and just play through them for fun. You'll find you can play the pieces faster and better as you do it. Right now, just however fast you can be accurate, that's good enough. Now they've added pedal on here. You don't need pedal on this. You can do it just fine without. But they've added it. The idea is, why is it added? What's the point? Why are we doing pedal? If you don't understand, it might be better off if you didn't use pedal. You don't use pedal just because the music tells you to. That's the problem. They just blindly use it. It says to use pedal, so I use pedal. And they don't really listen to the effect the pedal is having. They're just trusting the music to do whatever. Listen carefully and see if you can figure out, why is the pedal needed here. You learn it without pedal first, of course, but then when you add the pedal, you see or you hear the difference. Why is it that? What's it doing? It's going to be lag pedaling, so I put the note down first and then the pedal. Although when it's quick like this, you almost have to put the pedal down with the note. Otherwise, you won't catch the note. So, just put the pedal down with a note. And then lift the pedal up with the hands. We get a little bit of silence before we go on. We don't pedal any of this. Now measure 13, they want that. So I'm lifting the pedal up right after I play the dotted half note, right there. Of course I don't pedal the staccatos. And then at the last measure, they want that pedal. Okay, that's what they want. I guess it's like windy, and it's blowing stuff around or getting a little hazy or musty or whatever, and that's the effect it's doing. As near as I can tell, we don't need it to help connect the fingers, the notes. We can do that pretty much okay. But we don't have any really long notes that are held out. It's another reason to use pedal. You color long held out notes. I don't have any. So it must be an effect, special effects type thing. That's all. There's your retardando there at the end of the first line here. Slowing that beat down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the odd tempo measure 5 tells you to take off again. And then the retardando at the end. The last couple measures, it's a felt thing. If you don't feel it, don't do it. But if you feel it, put in the retardando there too. At the beginning, between the lines, they have the word leggero. I can't say the word very well, but that's okay. It simply means light and playful. It usually has to do with quick pieces, just light. Don't get heavy. It's light. Think the wind blowing gently here. You just have to be moderately loud about it. Remember the natural accents. They're really important in pieces like this where you got eighth notes going nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And here 1, 2, 3. And then the rate 1, 2. It's very important. Exaggerate them if you have to, like in the scale videos. Just 1, 2, 3. Feel these, especially on the runs. Very important. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'll give us 4 counts. Pretty much, I can't slow down. I can't do retardandos. I'm not going to do the louds and softs. We're just checking notes and rhythms. So let's just try it together slowly. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. And rest and. 1, 2, 3, 4. And rest and. 1, rest and. 3 and rest and. And rest and. 1, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1 and rest and. 1, 2, 3, rest. And rest and. 1, 2, 3, rest. Rest. Rest.